Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here today to discuss about WWE Smackdown, August 2nd, 2024 review. My thoughts on the show. It was, you missed it. You didn't miss much. I don't know what just happened. Anyway, welcome to the channel, guys. It's your boy, World of Wrestling, here to discuss about WWE Smackdown, August 2nd, 2024. Review. Let me go over this with you. This show was mid. I really, if you missed it, you didn't miss too much. The main event was the best thing on the show. Love Girl says, what do you think of the stipulation for the match of Cody versus Solo Sikoa? It's just a way of bringing Roman Reigns onto the show for SummerSlam at the end. That's all it is, really. I think that's what's going to happen here. At the end of the day. Everything else on the show was kind of like it was dud, really. Like I said, if you missed it, you didn't miss anything. Jacob Fatu and Tamatonga are now the new tag team champions, giving Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's run as tag team champions a short-lived one. I don't particularly agree with that, but that is the decision they went with for this situation. But overall, that match was great. It was a very entertaining main event. Lately, the main events for Raw and SmackDown have been fairly decent and watchable. But the show itself, like in general, both of them have been very lackluster. I haven't been very happy with the last two shows that we've gotten this week. I think the go home shows are very mid. I don't think they're putting a whole lot of effort into making these shows mean anything. But they did a good job building up to the pay-per-view, so I can't entirely be mad at them with this. So I think they did a fairly decent job overall building up towards it. It's just the last two episodes have been between Raw and SmackDown have not been that entertaining to me. But anyway, let's get into it. We go to Cody Rhodes starting off the show. He asks, what do they want to talk about in Cleveland? He turns towards the ramp and says Solo Sikoa. Cody looks at the ramp and Solo's music hits. Solo Sikoa comes out to the ring alone. The fans chant, we want Roman, and both men are face to face in the ring. Solo turns towards the camera and tells Cleveland to acknowledge him, and the fans boo and the fans chant Solo sucks. Cody says he sees it, a chip on his shoulder. He sees Solo as a little brother, and as is he. It is not easy what Solo is trying to do, becoming the tribal chief from a distance. He almost admires it, but once all the cinema is over, there is an old expression, tomorrow the bell's going to ring, and when it rings, Solo will find out that he has nothing to lose and Cody has everything on the line. Solo asks him if he excuse me, fucking messing up here. Solo asks him if he is done because he is wasting his time and he is running out of patience. Cody says he is not done. He says Solo is a self-appointed tribal chief while he is an actual champion. He sits on the throne thanks to men like Randy Orton, Kevin Owens, and if he loses, he can't repay their debt. He doesn't intend to lose. He intends to pay them back with Solo's blood. He intends to do what he did to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania in a Bloodline rules match, which is what entitled this match to take place for SummerSlam. And now we are getting a Bloodline rules match to make this match possible, to include Roman Reigns in the match without having it become a disqualification. So that's where I think they're going with this. Solo tells him that Cody beat a weak tribal chief at WrestleMania. He says He is not weak. He's the opposite. He is dangerous, and at SummerSlam, he's going to show Cody how dangerous he is. He says Cody talks a big game, and Solo asks him to make tomorrow night a Bloodline rules match, and he is saying that the Bloodline jump the barricade and surround the ring. Cody tells the Bloodline that he is not scared of them, and he calls Jacob Fatu a dumb son of a bitch. He's very aware of the Gorillas of Destiny, so they're very aware of that. The Bloodline get on the apron. Yeah, he calls him a dumb son of a bitch. Okay, the Bloodline get on the ring apron, and Cody tells Solo that at SummerSlam, it's a Bloodline rules match. Solo says if he snaps his fingers, the three men will tear Cody apart. But he won't do that because tonight the tag team titles come back to the Bloodline. At SummerSlam, the Undisputed Championship goes back to the Bloodline as well. Cody says he gets it. They all hate Cody Rhodes, but he does not have to fight his family. All he has to do is defeat the tribal chief. And since the tribal chief is not here, he will settle for the wannabe tribal chief. Cody drops the microphone and his music hits. I actually love this intro to the show. Very good promo, building up towards this match between these two. Love Girl says, so with the stipulation, with the match with Cody Rhodes versus Solo, does that mean The Rock will return, Roman Reigns, Jimmy Uso, and Jey Uso? No, just Roman Reigns, I believe. I don't think we're going to get any of those three that you just mentioned. I think we are going to see Roman Reigns return and get a Roman versus Solo Sikoa singles match, either at Bad Blood or at Bash of Berlin, one of those two. At one of those two events. I think it's probably going to be at Bad Blood, more than likely in a singles match. No Hell in a Cell, nothing like that. That'll eventually lead to a War Games match between one bloodline versus another bloodline. And that's what I think is going to happen. Then I think that's going to reveal The Rock as the guy who's behind all of this with Solo Sikoa. That's just my honest opinion. Matt87 Eagle says, what's your thoughts on the news that MJF had Britt Baker suspended? I did not watch JD from New York's report on that and what his opinion was and what the situation was. I just saw the thumbnail. I am surprised. That means that we're not getting Britt Baker and Mercedes Moné at All In. That makes absolutely no sense. They announced the match and then she gets suspended. She just got back and she's suspended. Unbelievable. But yeah, I don't quite understand that, Matt 87 Eagle, why that happened. Next up, we had Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes. This was actually a decent matchup. This is a rematch that they've had before. This match ended with Carmelo Hayes or Andrade picking up the victory, excuse me. So Andrade picked up another victory over Carmelo Hayes. I don't know if that's a good idea, building Carmelo Hayes up and having him lose to Andrade. I think that was kind of a bad choice, honestly. But hey, it is what it is, I guess, right, guys? But yeah, Andrade ends up winning the match. Fairly decent matchup, kind of similar to what their first match looked like. So it wasn't, it was good the first time. The second time was pretty much similar. So it wasn't bad. We cut backstage and we see Legado del Fantasma. Santos Escobar tells them that their failures last week are no indication of their future. He says their fortune will change tonight against Apollo Crews. Santos Escobar faced Apollo Crews in a one-on-one match, and Santos Escobar picks up a W here in the match. We also are seeing that Baron Corbin has been tagging along with Apollo Crews here. Maybe they ought to just put them in the tag team division and call it a day. So we have Brian Saxton backstage with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They tell Byron that they are very confident. They said they are coming back for their titles, and they are doing just that. They end up losing this match. Well, not really losing. It was more of a disqualification with them winning, but they didn't win the tag team titles. So who cares? Next up, we have Nick Aldis standing in the ring with three Cleveland authorities that are behind him, and he introduces Logan Paul, and out he comes to the ring. Logan shakes their hands, and the fans boo him. This is kind of a good sign that we may more than likely see Logan Paul lose to LA Knight, obviously, for the U.S. Championship. Logan tells them he is home. He tells LA Knight that he has never met a man so eager to take his belt off. He tells LA Knight that he has bad news because he is not his type. He says he will not strip him of his U.S. championship in his own hometown. The fans chant LA Knight, and Logan says he inspires the city. Logan tells them he represents the great city he is in. He is Cleveland. He says the fans here can relate to LA Knight, a bunch of tryhards who never make it, and he tells them he has only had 2 title defenses in 273 days, but that is 2 more title defenses than LA Knight will ever have. He says he can't relate to the fans. He's great. He made it. He says today they are here to recognize his greatness, which is why he brought these 3 people. Nick Aldis says he put the names of those 3 people in Google and he wasn't able to find anything. Logan says it is time to unveil his championship banner, which will stand in the rafters of this arena. A drum roll plays, pyro hits, and a large banner with Logan Paul's picture on it is unveiled, and it has the word "yeah" across it. Fucking love that. That was funny as shit. And Logan Paul played into it perfectly. And this was a funny segment. I did enjoy this. I can't deny that. So LA Knight music hits and out he comes to a loud pop. He says his shades are not helping him see what the banner reads, and the fans chant, yeah. Logan Paul congratulates the fans by telling them they know how to read. LA Knight tells him that he is close to losing his title. LA Knight says Logan Paul is from Westlake, and Logan says it's the suburb of Cleveland, Ohio. LA Knight tells him Logan is worried about homecomings and banners. He will do him a solid. LA Knight will go back and get him another banner. LA Knight walks to the back and he bumps into Pretty Deadly. Oh God, that was a fucking dumb segment. And he actually, was a dumb spot. He ends up walking past them after they start doing a musical. Thank God. He asks them if they have a banner for Logan Paul. They tell him they don't, but they have a musical coming out. And LA Knight continues walking and says he has something. He finds Logan Paul's truck, and that has the word Prime written across it. And Logan runs to the back, and LA Knight drives away. That was fucking hilarious. I absolutely fucking love that segment. That was an awesome segment. And Logan running after him, trying to get that truck back, was just fucking hilarious. I absolutely enjoyed that segment. Matt 87 Eagle says no 50-50 thanks to Trips booking the match between Andrade and Carmelo Hayes. I mean, I agree with that, but at the same time, Carmelo Hayes is a young star. Andrade really shouldn't be facing Carmelo, and nor should Carmelo. I think these guys needed to be built up in the mid-card division before actually having a series of matches with each other so that they have some sort of momentum. Carmelo Hayes does have momentum, but Andrade has not built up enough to, make me feel like these two going at it and one of them suffering 2 losses in a row would be a good idea. I think Carmelo Hayes suffering 2 losses to a guy who hasn't been well established yet, even though he has been on WWE for a long time, it doesn't help Carmelo in any way. in my personal opinion, but to each his own, I guess. And Matt 87 Eagle said, yeah, to the segment with Logan Paul and LA Knight. So Logan is backstage with Nick Aldis, and he asks Aldis what he will be doing about what LA Knight just did. And apparently nothing was done. I already mentioned about the women's tag team titles. Alba Fire and also Dawn end up retaining their tag team titles thanks to a disqualification. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill end up losing this. Well, not really losing. They won, but they didn't really win the titles, and Blair Davenport was the one to help them out. So it became a 3-on-2 attack. Later on in the show, we had Tiffany Stratton backstage looking at her broken Money in the Bank briefcase, and in comes Nia Jax. She gives her a new pink Money in the Bank briefcase with a strap actually attached to it so she can put it on her shoulder. Kind of interesting. In come Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Chelsea tells her the updates she would make to the briefcase, and Chelsea tells her before she was pushed off the ladder at Money in the Bank, she was going to cash in anyway. And Tiffany tells her green is not really her color and walks off. Big fucking whoop-de-doo on that one. Again, nothing really important. Nia Jax also mentioned something. She's no longer going to be the princess to the queen, Nia Jax. She's going to be her underling at that point. I really wonder how long that's going to last. I highly doubt it's going to last very long at all. So I wouldn't worry about it. I think Tiffany Stratton is going to be cashing in on Nia Jax and pretty much fucking her over altogether. Or we may see her cash in on Bayley after Bayley defeats Nia Jax. And then we'll get Tiffany Stratton versus Nia Jax in a match at Bash or Berlin, and Tiffany Stratton retains the title anyway and moves on to other things. Possibly a match with Bayley at like Survivor Series or something like that, or Bad Blood. So it's all depending on what they do and what happens at SummerSlam. Anyway, main event, we had Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa defending the tag team titles against Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. Great matchup. Jacob Fatu, man, he is looking like a fucking beast, man. An absolute fucking beast. He is kicking ass, taking names. He looks great. He was awesome in this match. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, of course, as usual, always producing good matches and just being purely entertaining at what they do as a tag team. And Tama Tonga, he did what he had to do there. He wasn't bad in the match either. Everybody in this match did their part and made this match very entertaining. Personally, I felt this match should have been on a SummerSlam card. This was a pay-per-view quality type of matchup, honestly. So I was kind of sad that this match didn't even make the fucking card. So it is what it is. But again, like I said, this show, I mean, if you missed it outside of the main event, you didn't miss anything, honestly. Outside of the added on stipulation, the main event, maybe a little dab of things that occurred on this show, you could have maybe caught on a YouTube clip or something like that. But the rest of the show is just whatever. You know, it wasn't nothing to care about on Friday night. I think they're just going in light both on Monday and Friday. They already built everything up. I honestly think that they ought to just take a week off when they reach the week of the pay-per-view events and just take a week off and just do like backstage interviews, things of that sort. But, you know, it is what it is. Matt 87 Eagle says, it's a shame that DIY was sacrificed for the greater of the Bloodline story. But the match was PLE worthy. Absolutely. This was pay-per-view quality. I don't know why this match just wasn't added to the SummerSlam card. It was definitely, and it wasn't even given 15 minutes, honestly. I think this match deserved a lot more time. It got, I think, about 10 to 12 minutes, maybe. Um, so it wasn't a bad show. I'm just saying, like, it wasn't nothing like, oh my God, I need to watch the show. It's very important that I watch. It wasn't. I only watched it because I'm telling you guys I'm going ahead and doing live streams now. I'm scheduling them. I don't want to bag out on them. And I don't have to do a lot of editing or anything like that. I just need to have this fucking internet service to work properly. I did not use the Ethernet cord, and it seems to be working out a lot better. It hasn't gone out one time, and everything seems to be flowing in very well. Eventually, I'm going to get a new computer. Hopefully, the picture quality comes in a lot better with a new computer. I think it will. Um, and hopefully everything comes in rolling well enough for us until then to do live streams so that I can go ahead and provide you guys that and be like socially interactive with each other with these live streams. I love doing that. That's one of the main things I love about this whole thing is the fact that I can go ahead and be interactive with my audience. That's what I think helped this channel out a lot in most cases. So, anyway, guys, at this time, there's nothing else more I need to discuss with you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did not catch the other live streams when they went live, of course, go back and catch them. A lot of good stuff. If you're interested in the SummerSlam preview predictions, there's also bets that you can make on betonline.ag. Do your research before actually getting involved with this to make sure it's something that you want to do. There are fees depositing money and so forth. So, I mean, it depends on how much you can afford to take out of your checking account every week, or at least every time that a pay-per-view comes up. So, I mean, almost every week we get a pay-per-view. So you could drop whatever you can afford for that weekend, divide it up amongst the matches that you're interested in betting on, and bet on them and try to win some money. It's very fun, enjoyable, and it makes watching pro wrestling even more entertaining. But yeah, at this time, guys, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. Leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching, and have a great night, guys. Bye.